Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here today as a part of the Pretty Pink Posh November release blog hop. There are some fun new products, and I wanted to walk you through them, including 3 new stamp sets. This is the Winter Friends stamp set. I love the ornament and the cup on there, and of course you can have the little critters peeking out, and there's the coordinating dies as well. This is the Holiday Pals stamp set, and this has some fun images that you can really use year round, like this little vine, and then of course the animals can be used year round with those little accessories as well. This is the Rainy Days stamp set. I'm actually going to use this in my first card today. I love that this is kind of an encouragement stamp set. It could also be used for get well, and it's something that you'll really, I think, find use for all year round. Now here's a look at the 2 new die sets. This is the Stitched Photo Frames die set as well as the Scallop Frames die set. The Scallop Frames die set is exclusively available in the Pretty Pink Posh store, so if you want to purchase that, you're going to have to head on over there. And then, of course, there's some new sequin mixes and seed beads. You're looking at the Woodland seed beads, the Meadow seed beads, as well as the Holly Jolly Christmas sequin mix there. So for my first project today, I am going to use this umbrella image, and I am going to stamp it on some Neenah Solar White cardstock and some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm going to be doing a little Copic coloring, and so this Memento Tuxedo Black ink is perfect for that. And I'm going to stamp this a couple of times in case I mess up, which I have been known to do. And then I am going to really speed through the coloring here. The colors I'm using are RV09, RV19, and RV69. So I'm actually starting with my medium shade and just building a base of that. And then I'm going in with my lightest shade, that is the RV09, and blending that out. Now I'm going to be careful about how many times I go over that very center part of my umbrella because I want it to stay the lightest. So I went back in here with my medium shade again, the RV19, and I'm just building up that base of color around that darkness around the bottom of the umbrella. And then finally, this is the darkest color, the RV69, and I'm just going in and adding that in. So I'm going to go over the entire thing one more time with the RV09 to blend that all out. And once again, you can see I didn't go back over that part that I wanted to keep the lightest, and that gave me a really nice contrast between those colors. Now that I have my images all colored, it's time to cut them out. I'm using the coordinating dies, and I'm also cutting a layer of Fun Foam as well as a layer of Neenah Solar White cardstock using the Stitch Photo Frames die. I'm going to be making a shaker card, so that's why I'm cutting the Fun Foam as well. And those aren't adhered together, I just am cutting them separately. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut out that second umbrella even though I'm not going to use it. And I'm also using this umbrella handle die to cut this real wood paper for my handle of my umbrella. And while my die cut machine was out, I went ahead and cut a whole nother layer of the Fun Foam. So now I have 2 layers of Fun Foam, 1 layer of Neenah Solar White cardstock, and you can see this piece of acetate here that I've cut down to kind of fit between, and that's going to be the window of my shaker card. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside before I build it up because I'm going to actually build it up on the card front. And I wanted to stamp some clouds on this that would kind of show through the shaker window and kind of be peeking out from behind that photo frame as well. So I'm just using this outline cloud image, and I'm stamping it in some Avery Elle Sea Glass pigment ink. This was just the best color that I had in my stash that wasn't quite so overwhelming. I had some like pools and that sort of thing, but I just felt like they were a little too bright for this card. So I went ahead and stamped a grouping of those, and now it's time to build up the shaker portion of this card. So I'm using a little Tombow Mono multi-glue to adhere my first layer of Fun Foam onto my card front, and I'm just going to put it there at an angle. And then I am going to go ahead and add my second layer of Fun Foam once again with the Tombow Mono multi-glue. And you could really use any glue that you like here. You could use the multi-matte medium, or if you wanted to prior to die cutting, you could actually add the Stick It adhesive to this Fun Foam and actually have a layer of kind of dry adhesive on there that you could stack up. So once I have those couple layers of Fun Foam added to my card front, I'm going to fill this up. These are the Silver Shimmer Seed Beads from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm also going to use some sparkling clear sequins, of course. And once I get my shaker window filled to the desired fullness, and for everybody that's a little bit different, but I think that the seed beads are really fun because they add a whole lot of movement and noise to these shaker windows. So I went ahead and adhered my piece of acetate over the top of that, and I'm going to finish this stack up with my layer of Nina Solar White cardstock there. And you can see that creates the shaker window on the front of my card. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my umbrella to this shaker window right over the top with a piece of just regular foam adhesive, and I'm just sandwiching that umbrella handle between the foam adhesive and that die cut umbrella. And I have that adhered on there, and now I'm going to go ahead and work on my sentiment piece. So this is a piece of pattern paper from a Jen Hadfield pattern paper pad, and I'll go ahead and link all of the products I used in this project in the description at YouTube, as well as over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. And I've just prepped that piece of pattern paper with my EK Success powder tool, and I'm stamping my sentiment in some Versamark ink, not VersaFine. And then I'm going to sprinkle on my white embossing powder and go ahead and heat set that. And then once that's heat set, I'm going to let it cool for just a few seconds and then take it over to my trimmer and cut that down into a strip. Now I'm going to adhere this onto another piece of pattern paper just to kind of create some layers here. I'm adding that black and white striped pattern paper, and that is from the Basic Gray B-Side pattern paper pad. And you'll see here that in just a second I've gone ahead and trimmed those down into some angled ends, and then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I just added a few lines of gold stitching to hold those sentiment banners on there. To add a little shimmer and shine to my umbrella, I went ahead and added a couple of layers of the clear Wink of Stella glitter brush pen, and now I'm adding some gold hearts onto the umbrella and the frame, as well as the sentiment strip. Those were cut with some Tim Holtz metallic gold cardstock and a Simon Says stamp mini hearts die, and I've just kind of scattered those about. So now I have my card base. It's cut from some Nina 110-pound Solar White cardstock, and I'm just going to add a couple of strips of pattern paper along the edge to kind of tie in the pattern papers that I've used on the card front as well. I'm adding some more of that black and white striped pattern paper with some tape runner adhesive, as well as a strip of this Tim Holtz metallic gold cardstock that will bring in the hearts that I added onto the card front. To adhere my card front to the card base, I'm just using a layer of Fun Foam with some Be Creative tape. I've added the Be Creative tape onto both the front and back side of that Fun Foam that's cut just a little bit smaller than my card front. And I've attached the Fun Foam onto the card front first, and then I went ahead and released the backer paper from the back of that Fun Foam, and I'm adhering it on to my card base. And then I went back and added some more sparkling clear sequins on the outside of that shaker window, and that completes my first card for today. You see I added a little bit of twine to that umbrella handle as well. So I'm going to use the same idea, but this time I'm going to use the Winter Friends stamp set, and I'm going to create a holiday card. So I'm just taking this sentiment here. It says, "Celebrate the Season," and I'm embossing it on some Basil peppermint cardstock. So I've prepped the surface once again, stamped it in some Versamark ink, and I'm adding my ultra fine white embossing powder to this and then heat setting it. Now you can see that I have a Christmas tree cut. I have my frame cut out of some white cardstock over there. I want to be like the Wizard of Oz and be like, pay no attention to the Christmas tree in the corner of the screen right now. I'm going to totally change directions. So instead of using the Christmas tree, I went back and stamped 3 of these ornaments. This is still from the Winter Friends stamp set. And once again, going to speed up this Copic coloring so that it doesn't take forever, because I am like a super slow Copic colorer. This time I'm starting with my reds. I've started with R29 and I've colored the entire ornament with the R29. And now I'm bringing in the R39 to build up a base of dark around it and then blended it out with the R29. And once again, just careful not to go over the center too much with the marker because that keeps it the lightest. Now I did the same thing for the greens, but I used the YG95 and the YG99 to create that. And then I'll go back and I'll cut all of these out using the coordinating die. Now, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and add some holly leaves to all of these ornaments. You can see them kind of die cut and stacked up over there. And so I'm going to use this Hero Arts Ombre ink pad. I'm just using the medium and the dark to stamp this little holly image from the stamp set, and I'm going to die cut it out. By using both the medium and the dark, I got a couple various tones of that, and really I used that ombre ink pad because I didn't have any other greens that I thought worked really well. Now, for my little berries, since those are stamped in green, I went ahead and added some multi-medium to those holly berry or holly leaf cutouts. And then I'm adding just the little raspberry sequins to those. Those are the 4 millimeter sequins. And then I'm attaching them on once again with the multi-medium in the matte finish. But once again, changing directions, I pulled that last one off. I added some Wink of Stella over the entire surface of all of those ornaments. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add one of these epoxy dots over that foremost ornament that's on there. And this is just going to give it some shine, some raised dimension. You could also do this with some glossy accents, but I just happened to find out that these fit perfectly with those 1 inch epoxy dots. And so it was nice and easy to do that. So now I'm preparing my card base here. I've used a strip of some wood grain cardstock as well as some metallic gold cardstock, once again from Tim Holtz. And then that pattern paper you see there is from the Kaiser Craft Holly Jolly pattern paper pad. And I'm just adding now my mix of sequins into that same double fun foam base that I created on my last card. And I've used a mixture of the raspberry as well as sparkling clear, metallic gold, and moss sequins to create a really fun Christmassy look. And then I've stacked that up with my frame with some acetate as well. And then to finish off the sentiment portion, I just added one more of those little holly leaves because I couldn't resist it. If you know me, I love to use holly on my Christmas projects. I just think it's so much fun. And then, of course, to add a little bit more sparkle and shine to the front of this card, I'm finishing it off with some Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins on the front of that card. So there you have it, a couple of fun shaker cards using some new products from Pretty Pink Posh. As always, I will have links to all the products used in this project in the description at YouTube, as well as over at my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, where you can find more information and more still shots. And be sure you stop by there because I will have more information on this blog hop where all of the design team members will have some fabulous inspiration for you, as well as some prizes up for grabs. So be sure you head on over to my blog to check that out. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.